Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Hanshi'scorner with Vena Sensei. Today is January 15, 2021, and we're bringing you this program via YouTube, to celebrate our 65th birthday, the naming of Isshinryu Karate, formally. So, January 15th to us is a big day because we do our workout. Tonight when I got home from work, I put my gi on, I bowed in, did all the basic exercises, the basic kicks, the one steps, all the different things that we mix up after the one steps. Now, I couldn't do any jukumite, but I did do bag work in place of it. And then I did the weapons katas and empty hand katas. We call that climbing the ladder, and that means we start with seisan. We go through all of the empty hand katas to sanshin, and then we do sanshin again and go all the way back down to seisan. And then, of course, tonight I only did the Kabado katas once. I didn't, when I got to Hamahiga, I didn't do Hamahiga again and go all the way back down to Tokurini. So, I thought it was enough. I had done a 14-hour workday today, and then with paperwork, 16 hours. So I didn't think I should push it. Not at 61, especially my wife said to me, "Boy, you're really sweating. Why don't you stop now?" So I bowed out. Normally, if it wasn't under the restrictions that we have because of the virus, we would have had a formal class. But two of the students joined me via the Zoom that we use. And we did the best we could to celebrate the birthday with a workout. But then after the workout, of course, I wanted to do the program because the idea of 65 years a martial art that's been being practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. Today I saw a post that said, I wonder how the founder would respond to the fact that his system, or his I hate to call it a system. It doesn't sit right with me. So I'll say the curriculum and the entire syllabus that he developed for us to practice has grown over these 65 years. If you look at the amount of students, the Q ranks, that's from white belt up to brown belt, that student body has grown tremendously over these 65 years. So let's look at how that architecture got built. From what we all understand now, after all this documentation, the Marine Corps brought the curriculum back to the States, and those Marines worked very hard to gather students and teach them and get them to the rank of black belt so that they can teach the curriculum. And then those first generation students, along with their grand black belts now, went out and started to spread Isshinryu all throughout the United States, Canada. We have a great representative in Canada. His name is Albert Mady Sensei. And as he explains, he was, I think, the first up there to do what he does for Isshinryu Karate. And that's not all that he's involved in. There's other things that Sensei offers as a workout. Let's just put it that way. And you should really take a look at what that turned into. He went to Canada, opened up the dojo, and from that wound up going international, like where he brings the curriculum not only to that area, because he also comes into the United States and works out with us and does all these different seminars and so on and so forth. But one black belt in the system wound up spreading Isshinryu like everywhere. So these efforts of the people over these 65 years, like Sensei Mady, who's gone out now and proven the curriculum, not only just to his students, but to other people, and shown other people and shown the explosiveness of the way we apply Isshinryu Karate. So the first generation students build this foundation for us to go out now and get students. So over 65 years, all of the black belts that are allowed to teach in the system, from the first day to today, have taken the curriculum. Number one, they have organized it and documented it like no other. Isshinryu Karate, if you just type that in, just type in Isshinryu Karate and go look around and see what's out there about it. I mean, the internet helps, because when I was younger, no one knew what Isshinryu was back in the 70s. So the idea that all these black belts that were given the permission to go out and teach, and they built dojos of their own so that they can bring their own students into all over the country, because the Marines that came home with the curriculum, when they went to their professional life and they went to go to work every day, all different talents were involved there. When they went to work, they were all involved in many, many different facets of life. So the circle of people that they were around at the time produced some of the greatest, I want to say martial arts practitioners ever, because how do I say that? I don't want you to think that I don't want to appear to be bragging. That's not what I'm about. I'm trying to build the picture in your mind's eye that says the diligence of the first generation students, their black belts, and now from that, all the black belts that came from that student body of black belts built over 65 years, something I thought I would never see in my life, where, when I wore the patch back in the 70s, everybody would ask me, what is that? I've never seen that before. And of course, that topic of conversation, you get to explain to them what it is. Now, that design is recognized worldwide. So in my lifetime, it went from, only the people that were handling it knew what it was. To everyone who searches about martial arts will see that, and it's called the Isshinryu no Megami. That's what they tell me now. When I was younger, they called it the Mizugami, but no more now. Now it's Isshinryu no Megami. Okay, that's what the insignia is, and it was developed by a first-generation student, Edmcgrath'sschoolofisshinryu Sensei. Him and the owner, I guess, got together, and I guess the owner, or I should say the founder, Shogoku Tatsuo Sensei, gave him the idea that this is what I want, and they made it. And the patch that I have from the original design, well, not original, I shouldn't say original, the design that was given to us to have an embroidered patch made, that picture, and then what they produced out of it, again, was very beautiful. It had a beautiful meaning. So Edmcgrath'sschoolofisshinryu Sensei has if you go on his website, he gets into specific detail as to how that all came to be. Now, we should spend a couple of minutes talking about the first generation students and what they did to continually, even though they're the people I'm about to mention are no longer with us, their effort goes on every day. Even though they're no longer with us, their work goes on every day. And I think that is a very wholesome thing. Because the people that do that work give of themselves when they really don't have to. They could be doing other things. So again, that's why I call it wholesome, because you're giving something that you really don't have to, and you're doing it with all your heart and soul. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, that is a true testament of what those first generation students did. And now that we get to use it in a way that helps others, again, that's a wholesome thing. All right. So I mentioned about the documentation before. Isshinryu is very well organized now. When I was younger, if I show you my original handbook, it was beautiful. I mean, it was something that was built by Sensei Lasiri and Sensei McGrath. They wrote it all up. They came up with our patch and everything. And again, it was beautiful, but built on the tools that they had at the time. Now that we have tools like this, we have ways and means now to communicate like never before. So I can't say enough about that, because no matter what now, those videos, those writings, those websites, all of that stuff is available to the public, which means they can research on it, and if they're interested in it, they will get involved. So the documentation of Isshinryu karate and its katas, its kabuto section, all is documented, and people do it online, and they show their ways and means, and it's a really, really inspiring and reassuring thing that no matter what those first generation students brought home is still being practiced. You know what I mean? That's very important because the continuity of the founder, and today of all days, 65 years ago, he made it known that he wanted to call it Isshin. 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 And he made it known to the world. Now, at the time, I don't know if he would have thought that anybody would want to, get involved in this. I don't know. I know he had students, so he was doing his part. He was doing the work. He was teaching the curriculum to others, so he did it. The people that he taught it to, let's in particular say, and again, I don't want to, you got to be so careful today how you describe things, but the American students of the founder took the curriculum and did what they did with it, and we got here today, 65 years later. So again, that's a true testament of their work, the work of those black belts. Those first generation students all have a line of black belts, each one of them. And every one of their black belts, okay, if you look at what they did, and now once they taught, once those first generation students got black belts, and those black belts now went on to start their dojos, and they made black belts. I mean black belts, when I say black belts, I mean black belts that can teach. And in our curriculum, it's 3rd degree and higher. Sandan, you're allowed to wear a black jacket and white pants as a sandan, which signifies in our dojo, if you see somebody with a black top, you know that that person is at least a 3rd degree black belt and higher. A Nidan will not wear a black top in my dojo. A Shodan will not wear a black top in my dojo. That's not the way my sensei taught me. My sensei taught me 3rd degree, you can start with a black jacket, white pants. So that's what I mean by, their black belts. Their black belts were able to build now, because by now, let's say here, back in the 50s, right, the Marines come home, no, let's do this, 50s and 60s, the Marines come home with the curriculum. By the time, it took them to get other people to be at teaching grade, let's say now, late 60s, early 70s, okay? Once we hit the 70s, all right, that was a critical point, because we had enough influential teachers, people that knew people that would want to study martial arts. Other senseis really focused on trying to get women in the dojo. So that's not easy. And not easy if you have a class full of men and one woman. It takes a really strong woman to stand there and do what everyone else is doing. Now, I'm not saying I don't want to do this. who's this, who's that. It's a little intimidating when, all these men are working out and only one girl. So it wasn't easy, but they did it. They did it. We have, if you've ever gone to any of our events, we have a lot of, I'll say, female black belts that are teachers. I want to make that clear. They're at least, third degree and above out there teaching. And we have a substantial amount working out there, and their schools, it's a lot easier for you to pick up a martial art. If you've never done a martial art in your life, to me, it's a lot easier to approach a female to ask for lessons than, let's say, a guy like Frank Black, who's a very tall man. He's like this. He's like he's a football player, basically. He's like a football player. So as a little kid, when I look at this man, I may not want to go in there. No. But it's so much more approachable if I could ask for lessons from somebody, that would not intimidate me. So that work, oh my goodness. So like I said, if you've ever gone to any of our events, the high-ranking black belts that are our legacy leaders, their work is, when you look at it, again, I don't know if Shimabukuro Tatsuo Sensei would realize that not just men do this. Women do it here too. Now, if I could appeal to everybody who ever sees this video, if you can get involved in a martial art, do it. Do it. It will be one of the best decisions you have ever made in your life. Hey, listen, I'm 61 years old. I don't take no medicine. I don't have no diabetes. I don't have, the only thing I got wrong with me now, I'm 61. So it's not like it was when I was in my 20s. You know what I mean? It's different. I got older now. But if not for martial arts, if not for jumping around like I did tonight, I don't know. I kept thinking to myself, why did the Okinawans have, in the world, out of all the people in the world, why do they live the longest? What is their secret to longevity? Well, you could say, well, they're islanders. They eat a lot of natural foods. They eat fish and all the stuff. That's part of it. But because martial arts is very prevalent on the island, there's a lot of schools, a lot of dojos. It's something, and plus Okinawa is known as the melting pot of martial arts because of the trade, I guess, of the different people coming to the island. So looking at that, looking at the fact that now we have both men and women teaching, we've doubled down now because for many years we only had men instructors, male instructors, I should say. Now we have both. So we have both working towards what today we celebrate, students. What good is the curriculum if only you and me know? It doesn't work. That doesn't serve, what the founder wanted. Not in our minds. Not in the minds of the Americans. I gotta say that the Americans were very aggressive in trying to get this curriculum out there. Now, we're not the only ones. I mean, there are practitioners all over the world. There are students that know our katas, that are working on our kabuto katas. I always felt that kata is something you learn, but I don't think you can ever really learn it all. I don't think you live long enough. Because the drills that come out of the katas are, we celebrate our, oh no, that's got a shine on it, so I'll have to go, ooh. That's got a shine on it, I don't like that. I don't like that the light is, but this is a drawing that we got off the internet. I love it. I love it. Got the fist with the fire, the orange. But, looking at our, the way our curriculum is laid out, everything that we practice, when we build, let's say, a Ippon Kumite drill out of Seisan, you get to explore what's in that kata. You get to use what they're trying to teach you, whether it be a punch, a kick, a block, a step. They have what's called embusen, which is the path in the kata. So where you go, okay, all of what's in these katas, these 8 empty hand katas, in order for you to drill all the moves that are in these katas, I don't know if you can live long enough. There's 8 of them here. Seisan, they tell me, our Seisan kata is a black belt kata. I don't know if you know what that means. Seisan is practiced in, we say Seisan, but there's so many martial artists out there that are not from Isshinryu, but they have a version of this kata. Now, it's not done exactly like we do it, but again, that doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say here is that the kata has a lot of prerequisites under it by the time you get to Seisan. And that's why they say it's a black belt kata, because you got to learn so many things to be able to do the entire kata called Seisan before you can actually do it, because you got to learn the movement. So in the katas, all the movements that are in each one of these katas, we take out of the kata and we do it standing up. We'll practice it on the ground. Whereas if you attack me, if you knock me down and you attack me with, let's say, a punch or an elbow or a knee or a headbutt or whatever, I have to take one of the movements or several of the movements out of the kata and build a drill out of it. So just Seisan kata it's taken me over 40 years to get in here. These are all our, drills, but not all of our drills, but they're examples of what you should be doing when you drill. So we want to be clear about that. But Seisan has this unbelievable self-defense mechanism in it that if you were to use, let's say, one of the exchanges in a fight, it's, um, you know, again, if you can get into a martial art, do it. Because I mentioned the longevity. Like I said, I don't take any medication. No high blood pressure medicine, none of that stuff. I don't put any synthetics in here. The only thing I put in here is what my mother fed me from when I was young. And when I was sick, I do the things that she did for me. Now, yes, I have been to a doctor where, I had to go and get medicine. Because when my kids used to go to school, they would come home with, whatever, and I would get it. But other than that, other than having to have to get cured from a cold, whatever, what I used to call a cold, they don't call it that no more. That's how old I am. That's what I would do. So that's the only medicine I've really ever taken in my life. I don't take, once in a while my kids will say, Dad, you got to take a little, Tylenol or what's the other one they always say you got to take? Is it ibuprofen or something? Something like that. That's when I'm really hurting. That's when my shoulder is hanging. That's when my knee, when I can't get in to catch his crouch. You know what I mean? Yeah. So again, I attribute it to this. This is what cures me. Go sweat. You don't feel good? Get your gi on. Get all covered up. You ever see Albert Maney on there? He gets all covered up and he starts sweating. That's what it's about. That's how you heal. Even when you're hurt. Now you got to go slow. I understand that. You got to heal, but you got to keep at it. You got to train your body to do it. And when you do, I'll put it to you this way. How come every time I get my gi on and I get on that deck, all that goes away? I got work to do now. I have to get this done. I would like to get something to eat. So I start early. It's another thing. You get up early. This morning I was up at 3 a.m. 3 to 4 is my hour in the house. From 4 o'clock on, got to get to work. Got to go. Do that every day. If you can get involved in a martial art, do it. It's the best decision you ever made. Now we want you in Isshinryu Karate. We want to teach you Shimabuku Tatsuo's Sensei's curriculum. And believe me, there's nothing we can teach you that you can't research and see that what we're teaching you is what it is. Everybody's got their own means and methods. I get that. But the continuity is there. The continuity is there. Yes. And that's inspiring. So, yeah, we wanted to make this video because, again, Sensei McGrath, if you go onto my website and you read what he writes about it, he believes that, he believed that Isshinryu Karate was the preeminent style, man. He was like, he was hook, line, and sinker, So he believed it to be just such an explosive, effective way of controlling your opponent, really well, with superiority. And the bigger they are, the way our sensei taught us was you do all 3 zones. You attack when they come at you. You take care of high, mid, low. You don't let anything dominate in that attack, whatever that is. Whatever they're swinging at you, they're coming at you, running at you, whatever it is, doesn't matter. When it comes to what you're gonna do, you're gonna take care of this, and this. That's the way he taught us. Very effective. If I take out your foundation, the top's gonna fall. Once the top falls, that's you doing that now. All I did was just direct it that way. Once the top falls, my knees, if I have to lay on top of you, whatever, to get you to stop, whatever it is, I can control you now. You know what I mean? Once I got that arm, once I got that leg, you're going to go where I put you. That's just the way it works. Again, what they did with this is just incredible. Now, I've been around now as a practitioner all my adult life, but as a teenager, and I've gone to see and learn with all that I can, and it's martial arts is incredible. Some people are really, really talented. I mean, really talented. I wanted to mention their names, some of the ones that aren't here anymore. And I'll go right to the book. Yeah, I'll go right to the book because these people, without them, these people would have been really, really tough. I don't know where Isshinryu Karate would be without these people. So, their names, no matter what we do, no matter how many students we get, no matter how many people that we talk to within the martial arts circles, their names are very important because they're like, busy little bees for the founder doing their work. And I'm from the Nagel lineage. He was a first-generation student, Donald U. Nagel, United States Marine Corps. That relationship that he had with the founder, it says it in here, that he, I don't want to use the word displayed, but the founder sort of used on Nagel to how do I say this? And I don't want to. Don Nagel was a very proficient fighter, so everyone he fought that Tatsuo Shimabuku Sensei put him in front of, he did very well. So Don Nagel went from white belt to black belt. That's how that worked. Once Shimabuku Sensei, as a white belt, put Don Nagel out there, and okay, we're gonna go this gonna be, and to go around and do what he did. That's he went from white belt to black belt. So that's pretty interesting. So Donald U. Nagel is the lineage I'm from. Harold G. Long, Steve Armstrong, Harold M. Mitchum, Sensei, Arsenio James Advincula, Sensei. Now there's a whole list of them. But I want to mention these in particular. And let me tell you why. I mentioned Advincula Sensei before. He's directly related to the, let me see if I can get a picture like it's, that's his, that's what I'm, Isshinryu no Mogami. So his legacy of what he has done for Isshinryu Karate, just what it says in here, what he's done with the military, what he's done with athletes, what he's done with children, what he's done with adults, law enforcement. It's really very hard to describe what this man has done. But without him, I don't know if we get the patch we got. I don't know if the Marine Corps continues to invite him in and have him work with it's unbelievable. Okay, so I had mentioned him before. Sensei Mitchum, very, very key first generation student. The founder in 1961 writes a letter and sends him home, says, please acknowledge him as the president of our association, and gives him some promoting power so that when he comes back to the States, he can get black belts, he can get teachers. So Harold Mitchum Sensei, again, these gentlemen, except for Advincula Sensei, are no longer with us, So their names have to be talked about. And in your dojos, you have to explain to the people that read this what these people did and how important it was. Because without it, no one would ever know thumb on top, and probably in martial arts, I don't know if they, would recognize the vertical, fist and punch. But anyway, yeah. So it says in here that on January 15th, the founder, 1956, the founder wanted everyone to refer to the curriculum as Isshin. Says it here. And it's amazing because Sensei Sloan gave me like how they, I want to say the kanji for it. So Isshinryu, is written in English and then also in Okinawan. So, or Japanese, if that's I want to say Okinawan because I think the way the Japanese write and the way the Okinawans write may be slightly different. But what he did on that day, January 15, 1956, was, it says here largely a synthesis of Shonryu and Gojuru and the Kabuto section. But I know that he was a lifelong martial artist, so somehow or another, when they asked him about Sun Tzu, why do you need another kata? I guess it was his understanding for us practitioners, that in that kata there's a very distinct message from the founder in that kata, in the Sun Tzu kata. So whether or not they recognize it or not, I really don't care. I get a very, very clear and concise message from the founder in Sun Tzu kata. And we go on to write about that in here as to whether or not, because all the other katas really are inherent katas from the island. I guess he, when he named them his way, I don't know if other curriculums call it that and really spell it the way we spell it. But you can tell the similarities, like in Kusanku. That again is a kata that's widely practiced on the island throughout all the community. It's beautiful. Kusanku. That is a kata. How could you drill in your lifetime all of the waza, the techniques that are in Kusanku? Building drills around Kusanku is a lifelong exercise. You don't do that in 2 weeks or, a month or a year. No way. No way. I haven't been able to do it. So, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that, you can't do more than I do. But it takes a lifetime, man. There's a lot of stuff in there. So, this January 15th, 2021 marks the 65th year of Isshinryu Karate's name. It shouldn't be known. They tell me that Isshinryu's birthday, really, we mentioned it in here, that when you talk about a birthday, that's the day you're born, right? So that's your day. That is your day during the 365 and a quarter that goes around every year. That's your day. It's the day you get to say, it's my birthday today. So Isshinryu wasn't born on January 15th, 1956. It was named. A little distinction there. Wasn't born. It was named. It was what the founder wanted it to be called. And we go on in here to again, like I said, the senseis did such a great job in itemizing all of this stuff, all right, and how it gets presented. But in all actuality, if you listen to Advincula Sensei talk about it, it's very interesting because he was there. He was involved in all of this stuff. He was present. So that's a gem now. He's still alive. He's still working out. You go on his videos, and he does everything like he did when he learned it. There's no difference. There's no difference in that man. That man is committed to longevity now. You can't tell me he doesn't know what he practices. He does it every day. So at this point, he's committed to longevity. And God willing, I hope that man lives to be 180 years old, 200 years old, 500 years old. I really do. Because the longer he's around, bingo. So here, we mentioned it in here that the birth date of the founder is September 19th. That's the real birth date of Isshinryu. it was asked, how come the founder never wore a patch? We only have one picture that Dennis Boodle Sensei took. And it's not even on a gi, it's on like a sweater vest that they put on and sewed it on. It's the only picture we have of him with the Isshinryu no Megami on him. But it was explained to me like this. He didn't wear it because he was it. he didn't have to wear it. Now, it would have been nice if we would have had the embroidery done and we could have put it on him, on his gi, and bought him a nice Shirado gi with a nice black belt and, got him dressed up and all that stuff. But we didn't get that opportunity. But we did get an opportunity. Dennis Boodle Sensei snapped a picture. The only picture we have of Isshinryu Karate where he is wearing this. Yes. Yeah. So the date, September 19th, is the birthday of Isshinryu. If you listen to Edmcgrath'schoolofisshinryu Sensei, he believes that we should celebrate Isshinryu's birthday on that day because that's the day our founder was born. See? So, again, they've done a wonderful job of documenting everything. Everything now is laid out. I work for architects and engineers. So, the architects draw the pictures and the engineers do the structure. Okay. That's how it works. And it's very clear and concise. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see that because every one of the black belts that are out there, the teaching black belts that are out there, have some form of that now. And a writing. We require our teachers to have a writing and start their own ways and means of teaching the curriculum in written form. That's the requirement of ours. We want all the black belts to do their own homework. And like I said, we have people in the world like Andy Sloan, John Bartoshevitz, just so many of them. Sensei, I mean, we have so many people, so many resources right now. You better take advantage of every one of them. Take advantage of every one of them. They're there for you to gain access. They're there. Type in their names. Do your search. Learn about them. They're the most important and most valuable resource we have that's directly linked to the founder. In 2021, we're very fortunate. Very fortunate. So we're celebrating. We as martial artists do a workout. We get all sweaty and, it just, it's such a cleanser. It's like changing your oil. You know what I mean? When you sweat like that, all those things that they say are in your body start to come out. You start to clean. It's another reason why I don't use medicine. I don't have to. I have ways and means that my mother taught me how to fix things with foods and spices and herbs, mixing things together that she would. I'll never forget the day my daughter, Erin, she's a little girl, and she saw my mom with the stuff on her head, the bandana. My mother used to suffer terribly from headaches, which I don't. I never get headaches. Thank God, because I saw my mom suffer terribly with them. But She would do things. Now, yeah, is it? Some people say it's old wives' tales and stuff like that, whatever it is. But to me, I'm a believer, so it works for me. And it's gotten me to 61 years old. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I go out every day to work. I do all the things that they tell me. I try to pay attention. So it's all about the martial arts. It's all about the drills. It's all about the discipline of doing things 10,000 times, 100,000 times. If you live long enough, maybe 200,000 times, whatever. You do that over and over and over again. Eventually, the body becomes, it's normal. It's normal. And I always liked to play handball. So I was always, my heart was always boom, 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 beating because during the day, I would, especially the summer, you sweat. Play handball in the summer, you sweat. Now you go and do a nice workout. Come home, do your katas. Oh, please. It is on this birthday, on this 65th birthday, I want to say thank you. My message is I want to say thank you because whatever you did, all that stuff that you organized in the book, it's unbelievable. I don't have to go online and get no classes or buy any diet stuff or any of that. I don't have to do any of that. I want to lose weight, no problem. I'll drop you between 2.5 to 4 pounds in 2 hours. You give me 2 hours, I will drop your weight, water weight, between 2.5 to 4 pounds, all depending on how you sweat. If you sweat like me, you'll be the 4 pounder. You'll be the 4 pounder. That's just a fact. I went to a seminar, Camp Budo, and a woman come up to me and said, "Are you sweating like that?" I said, "Well, it is 100 degrees in here, man." And these senseis, they don't let up. They're all from the Marine Corps. They don't let up. I mean, Ernie Gates, he was one of the ones teaching. It's a discipline, man. It's a real, honest to goodness discipline. Now, the amazing thing about this is my sensei's not here, right? But yet, when I put that gi on and I bow into Shimabuku Tatsuo Sensei, what I'm supposed to do in that time gets done. No matter what. I don't care how you feel, what this, that, no excuses. Then don't bow in. If you're going to come over here now, we're going to do this. Now, our workout, like I said, just our basic exercises. The Isshinryu basic exercises have 16 upper body exercises in our dojo. 15 on the list. We added one, number 16 for Sensei Nagel. We do a 16th basic. So now let's do 10 and 10 aside. On a busy night, we do 10 and 10 aside. On a night where we may forego one of the sections, meaning, let's say Ippon Kumite. Let's say we're going to skip that tonight. Tonight we're going to do 25 aside. Now you do the math. 25 from the right side, 25 from the left side. 16 of those. Okay. So, when you talk about what has to get done now? In that time, we, as Sensei students, if you go to any one of Sensei McGrath's Black Belt's class, they run through what Sensei did with them, and then they teach whatever the highlight's going to be. So all of us do this set of work first. That's another thing. Now, when you think about that, that was communicated to us by Sensei. We communicated to others by our efforts getting people into the dojo, right? It's been going on for 65 years like this. So when people ask me, what's the future of Isshinryu, because we do a radio program as well, I'm very optimistic. Based on the hands that are on Isshinryu right now, like I said, we still have some of our first generation students here. They're still with us. So, nothing's going to happen while they're alive. That's for sure. They won't let anything. They're here to preserve and protect the legacy of their sensei, who happens to be the founder. So, by no means is anything going to happen while they're alive. That's for sure. But it continues to grow because they are the overseers of the curriculum. They still go around and see what's being taught. And then plus they have this instrument. I mean, they can dial in. They can see what's going on in India. They can see what's going on in Romania. They can, I mean, it's just amazing what they can do and what they do. All right. These people are hardworking, focused individuals. All right. And the work that they do should be celebrated. There's no question about it. Especially that they have access to us and we have access to them. You know what I mean? And you don't have to be in their face. They have it out there for you. They have it out there for you. If you want to view it, you can see their ways and means. No question about it. Now, there's nothing like having Sensei on deck. I get that. But if you're a practitioner and you see what they're doing, you see what you're doing, that says it all. You know what I mean? That's like you being in class because you know the material. I said before, I want to say thank you because it got me to 61. See, here's the Sensei Karate Dojo. My people down in South Carolina under the direction of Hanshi'scorner, Sensei Conklin. Yeah. They said that's at the back. Let me show the back too. Yeah. Show the back. Your little Sensei Dojo. Plug. We love those people. You know why? They're real. They practice. They're real. They do the work. I admire anyone who does the work. Even if you don't like me, that's okay. I admire you for doing the work. And especially the work of my sensei. If you're one of those people out there like a Barry Steinberg, a Frank Kloss, Frank Black, all of their students, John Pinguero, that's Sensei's crew right there. Bobby Baker, that's Sensei's crew right there. Some of them, not all of them, but those are the ones that work very hard in Sensei's name. They work very hard in Sensei's name. There's others. There's others just like it, all those other first generation students. But in our line, it's those guys. Those guys did what they did for Sensei and still do it today. Yeah. Look at the black belts that Frank Black has produced over the years. Real professional people. You know, I mean, they go out to work every day. They're professional people. Look at the black belts they have. So you see what happens? And they're teachers. When I call them black belts, in that regard, they're teachers. People like Lee Snyder, Jimmy Pace, Frankie's nephew, what's his name? Costa. You know, they're teachers now. They have gone on to do Sensei's work. You know, those people are very near and dear to my heart because even though they don't acknowledge me, I still love the work that they do. Because let me tell you something. You go to Frank Claus's school. You go to Frank Black's school. You go if you can get Sensei Steinberg on the deck and get him to teach you. No, there is no better. No better. My sensei said so. Sensei McGrath said, out of all the people that he promoted to teaching grade, no one can match the level of intelligence of this man. If you think we drill, or we take things apart and we drill, no, nothing, not even in the same. I could work for 1,000 years and never get it like that. Never. Not on that level. I'm nowhere near the level of craftsmanship. That's the word Sensei used. Barry Steinberg is a craftsman. I don't care what you give this kid to do, he said. I don't care if you ask him to build this. Somehow Barry will come up with a way to build this. I don't care what you ask him to do. He's that kind of guy. And now you go and give him all this stuff. And when he came up under Sensei, different than when I came up from under Sensei. First of all, I was a kid just like Barry was. But when Barry met Sensei, that was in the 60s. When I met Sensei, it was in the 70s. Different ballgame. Different Sensei. Ed McGrath was a different Sensei in the 60s. The way Barry learned and the way I learned was different. When you say, well, how could it be different? It just was. Sensei McGrath was a different individual. Or, I shouldn't say different. That's not the right word. Maybe a little more hardened in the 60s. He was fresh out of the Marine Corps, very, Sensei was, very intense. I guess by the time I met him, Mr. Lasseri had been involved, Mr. Laskowski. Those were the men that worked around Sensei when I got there. John Pingero, Frank Kloss, Stevie DiLorenzo. There were many others, but those are the ones that, as a matter of fact, when I first went, when my mother got the article, because I was so young, he sent me to this guy, Bob Engel, that lived right around the corner from my mother. We lived on 49th, he lived on 48th. So he didn't, where he was in Lindenhurst at the time, they never, a children's class. It wasn't until he got to John Street did he, entertain, me coming on the deck, the youth center in Lindenhurst. Wasn't until then. So I had to work out with this guy, Bob Engel, until I learned and got a little older. Because, again, like I said about when Sensei Steinberg studied early, like when he was a white belt, a green belt, a brown belt, much different than when I was a white belt, a green belt, and a brown belt. Much different. According to Sensei McGrath and Sensei Steinberg, and some of the other students that were there at the time, they also concur that Sensei was, very intense. So, I could only imagine what it was like, because now when I came into the system, Sensei Steinberg was already teaching grade. He was already a teacher in Isshinryu karate. So the first time I saw Barry Steinberg, I was holding my mother's hand. I was that young. And he jumped in the air. And I couldn't believe what I just saw. So I tugged on my mom's hand. I was like, Mom, I want to, talking. I could not believe what I saw. The man jumped from standing still, not moving. He just jumped. He did a technique, whatever he did. That I don't remember. I just remember how he jumped. And then he was wearing, I'll never forget this, he was wearing a chain on his neck. And I'll never forget what I saw that chain do. Like, you know how the major league pitchers, after they pitch, they always have to take the chain and put it back? Yeah, I'll never forget. I have that picture in my mind's eye. And I'm 61 now. That happened to me when I was... So again, if you can find a martial art out there, do it. It'll change your life. I'm telling you. As true as God is my judge. You get a good instructor. If you can find... See, Sensei Steinberg, it's hard for him. He has a job and a commitment that requires him about 22 to 21 hours a day. He tells me he only sleeps about between 3 and 4 hours a day. The rest is devoted to work. He is a colonel in our United States Army. So that means at his age, he still has to make his jumps and do all the things that he does, because he is in the airborne part of our Army. I just think, again, when I think of that man and what he means to my sensei, I should say to our sensei, not just mine. He was Barry's sensei before he was mine. So I'll say our sensei. It's just, you have people that inspire you in life, and maybe some sports figures that you may be inspired by their talents, and you try to emulate them. This is a man that, again, since I was probably 11 or 12 years old when I first walked in there and saw that, till now, this is a man that has impressed his sensei. Impressed his sensei in such a way that it impacted sensei. Sensei was impacted by it. Sensei trusted very few in life. Barry Steinberg is one of the people that Sensei trusted. Sensei admired Barry Steinberg. Yes. Yes. Loved Frank Claus. Thought Frank Claus was just cut out of a piece of granite. I don't care how much you beat this guy, he's going to come back and kill you. That's the way Sensei described him. Bobby Baker. Oh, Sensei loved Bobby Baker. He was a great fighter. Bobby Baker was really, really precise. Like he was unbelievable. Big guy. Bobby was tall. Fast like lightning. Sensei would say he was really, really keen fighter. You know what I mean? Sensei would have no problem going into a fight with Barry, Bobby, and himself. If you were to attack these three guys, I don't know what would happen. I don't know. I can't. I don't know what would happen, but I know it wouldn't be good for you. I know it. Somehow or another, these three guys are going to come out on top. Yeah. And those are the conversations Sensei and I used to have. And he would tell me about John Dombrowski, who was the crazy guy, Richie, the guy who drove the garbage truck. But he had the machete on 4th of July. Sensei picked up his family. Said, Richie, it's right on the tip of my tongue. But he was, and now you talk about a guy taking me under his wing, Kenny Laskowski, Sensei. Guy taking me under his wing. There was a Sensei, him and Mr. Lasiri are the two senseis that taught me this. Let's see. That's right. That's right. Sensei Lasiri and Sensei Laskowski, by far, worked with me the longest, most diligent, most understanding. They didn't beat me up too bad. I got a bloody nose once or twice from Kenny Laskowski. Got a couple of, pops from Sensei Lasiri. But they didn't beat me up too bad. Mm-hmm. Those guys, they spent time with me in the early days when I was a white belt, when I was, trying to take a test to get to the next rank. You know what I mean? They were the guys that taught me, and I'll be forever in their debt. To me, brown belt was what I wanted for martial arts. I wanted to be a brown belt because at the time, John Pinguero, Frank Claus, they were brown belts when I went in there. And when I saw what those guys could do, yeah, I wanted to learn that. I wanted to, because I knew that the people that were picking on me, if I could do what those guys do, no. You ain't hitting me no more. And I won't hurt you. I mean, these guys are professionals. They know, how to do it where, they can bloody you up a little bit, pop a lip or, nose, tear up your eyes, whatever. The knee, get you down, boom, and take care of you like that. But if they really want to hurt you, man, I seen it. I mean, and I got scars from it. I know that those guys, those are Sensei's best. Those are the students that Sensei revered. He loved to be able to go to different dojos and do what he had to do with his students. No problem, So we celebrate. We celebrate 65 years of the name Isshinryu, Karate Do, and Kubudo. We celebrate. We give thanks to the founder, the first generation students, their grand black belts. That's the class my sensei's in. My sensei's what I refer to as a grand black belt. Because they're the next tier of teachers under the guys that brought it home. So I call them grand black belts. The work that those men and women did. Because it takes, even if the women are not practicing the martial art, it takes the women to help. Because you can't do it by yourself. So I give thanks to what I call all the first ladies of Isshinryu Karate. To me, they're all those teachers that are out there that have a great legacy, a tremendous effort. I say thank you, because without them, we don't get a lot of the students we have. We got a lot of the students we have because we were fortunate enough to have female interest, that they took interest. They didn't take interest, we never would have got an opportunity to teach them. Now, when I say we, I mean I have the utmost respect for being able to go and bow to Sensei, because again, we don't get a lot of the students we got if it wasn't for the female instructors. A lot of the female instructors brought a lot of students to the table. And again, even if it was that they were married to an Isshinryu black belt instructor, they brought on their own to get credit for bringing, whether they're friends, family, acquaintances, into the system. Because they took the time to mention, oh, by the way, my husband gives a martial arts class. So they were out there recruiting as well, and they deserve credit. Anyone who contributed to Shimabuku Tatsuo Sensei's effort, followed by the first gens and the grand black belts, if we don't say thank you to those people, then we don't get to where we are here in 2021, 65 years later. I find that to be extraordinary. I really do. Because when you think about it, it wasn't just the teachers. It was their spouses, their family. A lot of people did a lot of things to get it to where it is, to pull this cart to where it is today. So again, I can go on and on and on about it. I mean, um, uh, we've spent countless hours talking about drilling in martial arts, and not just Isshinryu karate, but we've had other guests on that talk to us about how they do drills in their practice and what the drills consist of in their practice. You'll be surprised. If you go back to some of our blog talk radio shows, um, you get some valuable information. Some of those people are highly intelligent. Figure of speech. All of those people are highly intelligent because they all have devoted their time, effort, money into teaching. And now the way they have us doing now, they've really put a strain on us being able to gather, number one. And then when you gather, if you're going to practice social distancing, how are we supposed to fight? How are we supposed to do Ippons? Ippon Kumite is one-step attacks, whereas the Ju Kumite is freestyle fighting. I don't know what you guys are doing, all right? But this is what I do. You got to sanitize what you can. And that means just about everything. If you draw blood, it's not good. Now it happens. Sometimes you get in a a situation where you're in the dojo and bang. I mean, we're not infallible. Things happen. So drawing blood right now is not a good thing. They say that the droplets that come out of your mouth, not a good thing. So what we do is, and I hate to say this, but we have to wear a mask, all right? We have to have gloves on. Now, the next thing is the sweat, okay? So everybody's required you have to have something on your head so that it contains the sweat coming off this part of your head. And then we have a mask that, you pull over your head, you put it over your nose, and, it goes over your ears. And then the mask that goes over your face, over your ears, the one that you wear over it, is how we're trying to structure it. But I don't like it. I still don't like it. I sweat. When I throw a punch, I throw a kick, sweat comes off my body. So I don't like it. So fighting is me in the bag right now. Until I feel that we can do that again, I don't know the answer. So there you go. On our 65th birthday, we have a question. How do we do that? Does anybody have any other suggestions as to how you can perform your Ju Kumite duties as part of your class and stay safe without spreading this virus? We can work out, if we The way we have it when we do our basics and whatnot, we can work it. We don't have to be in the same space. You could be over there, I could be over here. That's it. We don't, no chance of us getting any sweat on one another. So the workout is no problem. But the one step attacks we have to touch, and the fighting we have to touch. I don't know how to emulate a fight without exchanging, without touching you. I don't know how to do that. Now, again, we cover our hands. We try to, I wear a t-shirt to try to get the sweat off of me, but once the t-shirt gets wet and I snap a punch, it comes off of me. I can't do anything more to my gi to, like, I don't know. I'm really struggling with this thing, and I don't like it. I'm complaining because I don't like it. I have to find a way. I don't know what we got to buy or how we got to do this, but we got to find a way. So you see, look at what now. There's a requirement built into our practice, but we can't do it because it's not really not allowed. It's not allowed. According to the rules, it's not allowed. So there's something for you to think about. Anyway, look, we got a couple more minutes here. I thought that it would be a good idea to build a video so that the students, especially mine, especially the students that care about what we do, could have this as I said, as a thank you. This is 65 years of work. And me personally, I want to say thank you because without it, I don't get that. I don't get to be exposed to that. And that would be a real bad thing because without it, I probably don't get to my age, you know, geographically where I was from when I was studying early on. I lived in New York, and New York is it's a great place. It really is. It's my home. It's where I was born. But the streets are tough in New York. You walk down the wrong street, you can get in a lot of trouble. You know. So, in my case, learning a martial art was actually, I guess, a necessity, or led to be something that I absolutely had to have in order for me to survive. Did I know it when I was that young? No, but I knew I was getting picked on, and I didn't want that no more. I wanted that to stop. But past that, past the knee-jerk response of wanting to be able to defend myself, I learned that martial arts is really not even anything to do with that. They give you the tools to be able to do that, but that's not what martial arts is for. Again, the Okinawans don't have the record for longevity for no reason. They have it because a lot of them dedicate their heartbeats to martial arts. And there's something for you. How many times in your lifetime does your heart beat? Do you have any idea? Well, see, we as martial artists, we increase that we bring that number way up. We don't double it. We don't double it. we triple it. Yeah. When you're doing it as long as I have been doing it, or better yet, forget about me. When you've been doing it as long as Isshinryu James Advincula Sensei, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's that simple. You know how many times that man has and now this is a man who can lower his heart rate, right, and make it go up. This is a real gem of a man. So if you ever get to meet him, go and work out with him, because he'll teach you things that you won't ever learn from anybody else. Think how many times his heart beat over his lifetime. And again, he can make it go up and down. Past where they may say, "Are you okay, sir?" But no, he knows how to bring it down, bring it right back. Watch his sunshine. That'll tell you everything you need to know about how his heart beats. That's if you know anything about martial arts. You have to know a little bit about martial arts to understand what the concepts and principles of Sanshin are, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing what this work has produced over 65 years. When you look at the body of work, it's really amazing. It's actually astounding because, again, on our radio program, we highlight specifics. Maybe one night we'll talk about Shinto. One night we'll talk about Sun Tzu. One night we'll talk about Seisan, whatever. Maybe we pick things. We highlight things on the program. And that brings us to the next topic, because there's always something there. You never run out of material. You never run out of material. So building the radio station or the radio program's platform as to what we talk about is very simple. And then when our featured guests come on, well, then we ask a question and let them go. They explain it and talk about it and give you the information. I think that it really helps. It really gives us point of reference. You go back to the information and say, okay, I see what he means here. And hear it right from their mouth, right from their point of view. So it's been a pleasure building this because, again, I have grandchildren. Someday, they'll ask, why did they call Grandpa Sensei? Why did he always have people at the house and they were always dressed in their pajamas? You know what I mean? So, they can show them these clips that we have and build that legacy. Keep pushing that envelope of information. Keep mentioning the names of the first generation students. Give them respect and thank you for taking the time. That's what it's all about. It's all about taking the time and doing the work. So again, today is January 15, 2021. It's now 9:36 p.m. I have to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. I have to work tomorrow. But Sunday we're going to have a workout at the dojo here. And anybody who wants to stop by and work out with us, just hit me up. I know it's difficult, but again, we just continue going and going and going. That's Sensei Kyle and his brother Chris and all the people over at Team Kia. Again, it's part of our fabric. It's part of who we are, you know. It's part of what we do, part of how we live. Martial arts. It's all around me. So I want to say thank you again. Thank you to them for doing the work. Thank you to the current practitioners. Thank you to the future practitioners. Continue to do the work. That's what this is all about. Learning what's in that book and putting it in here, and it just becomes natural then. At a point, once you do it long enough, it just becomes natural. Just like work. Just like going to work. You can't slack at work if you do. The boss say, oh, you know, take it easy. So it's the same thing here. It's, you know, let's go. You got to get it done. So thank you for that. Thank you for taking the time to get it done, because it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? So again, on this 65th birthday, I applaud you. Thank you for doing the work. And stay tuned to our program Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. We go live. We're on for 2 hours, 8 to 10. And then on Friday night, like I say, we usually do this on the radio, but tonight I wanted to build a YouTube video, and so that you could see me, you know, in my environment, not in place. I want it to be in my environment, and that's I've always had a home dojo. Even if I rented a spot, I always have a dojo in where I live. So I wanted that to be on here. Yeah, it's just a garage. You know, it's just a garage. Nothing fancy. But I mentioned some people on this video, especially the first generation students, especially Sensei's black belts, Sensei McGrath's black belts. I want to say thank you to them for doing the work. I want to close with saying that. All right? And that if you ever do get to see this video, no matter what you say, rank means nothing about me. Rank means nothing. I want to be a good brown belt. That's what I want to be. So, you know, in my mind, Sensei gave me the rank. Not me. I didn't take it from nobody. I didn't steal it. I didn't do any of those things that you may think I did. It was given to me. Don Nagel gave it to Ed. Ed gave it to me. Yeah, he named those boys in Jersey, but he knew. He knew. That's the deal. That's what happened. And then when I went to the Isshinryu Hall of Fame, I went to the American Isshinryu booth. And it was a lady behind the table. Won't mention her name. But I walked up. I was so enthused about it. I said, oh, this is Hanshi'scorner McGrath's. She said, what? I thought I mentioned him as the founder of American Isshinryu. And she gave me some answer that wasn't right. And I spun around and I went outside. And I got to tell you, that really hurt. I know my sensei is the founder of American Isshinryu. No one can ever change that. Ralphie didn't want us to use the AOKA8. he wanted us to use American Isshinryu. So that's what Sensei did. He founded American Isshinryu, which is now headed up, I think, by Don Nash, which was Don Nagel's kata guy. I know he's very good in kata, Don Nash. Happens to be Dean Scott's first sensei. Now Dean Scott is under Mitch Koblansky down here. But as I understood it, Sensei founded American Isshinryu so that they could have Don Nagel's legacy in Jersey. So the man, Ernie Temple, who Sensei named to be awarded 10th Dan when Sensei McGrath passed away, was to be Ernie Temple. I believe Sensei Temple is passed on now, and they've given it to Don Nash. However, all of Sensei's black belts, except me, are there at American Isshinryu to make sure that Sensei's work gets done. And I'm very happy about that, because there's a lot of them now. All of Sensei's black belts all have black belts, and they're all there too. And that makes me very, very happy. And that's the sincerity of it, fellas. So again, if you ever do get to see this video, Danny's here to tell you, yes, Sensei chose me as his successor at Ed McGrath's School of Isshinryu. I would have liked if you would have come with me instead of the guys in Jersey, but you didn't. That's okay. I love that. You even got Greg to go with you. I love it. Why? Because you're working for Sensei. As long as you're working for Sensei, it doesn't matter who you're working for, who you follow. So if you recognize Don Nash as your 10th Dan, beautiful. I have a great following down here, a very loyal following down here. As a 10th degree black belt in Isshinryu. How about that? This little kid from Lindenhurst will go down in our books anyway. At Ed McGrath's School of Isshinryu. As a 10th degree black belt. I can't believe it. I only use that like for formal reasons, like when people need it. Otherwise, I really, fellas, I'll be honest with you, I practice as a brown belt. As if I'm a brown belt. Because that's really all I ever wanted to be. I don't want to lose my Isshinryu family because of rank or because of what you say happened. But that's what happened. I wound up losing my Isshinryu family because the people I grew up with don't even know I'm alive. So that's why I worked very hard down here to get away from all that nonsense. That's all politics. You know as well as I know, if we get on the deck and we do Sensei's workout, we're going to sweat. We're going to sweat. That's the bottom line. That's what Sensei did with us. He made us work out and sweat. Yeah, you can beat me up and all that stuff. It's all, whatever it is. At the end of the day, if you don't kill me, I just want to sweat. I just want to get out there and sweat. Now, again, we can't even fight right now, so you can't beat me up unless you want to, beat me up for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, I want to close with this too. I want this to be on here. In the early days when Sensei McGrath passed away, Barry Steinberg came to me, and we were looking at how we could continue Sensei's legacy. I sent Barry the paperwork that Sensei McGrath left me to sign. He has a copy of it. I thought all of you would have signed it. However, you didn't. I want to say it lasted about a year. Matai Sensei died 2014, 2015, no, maybe 2 years. I think it lasted about 2 years. Barry was coming to the dojos. I went to Fort Bragg to see him, brought him a student to look at as to how I'm teaching. He was very impressed, by the way. He said, Daniel, you're doing a wonderful job with him. And that's all I wanted. If Barry says that to you, Barry's honest. If you suck as an instructor, Barry's going to tell you. If you're good as an instructor, Barry's going to tell you, especially when it has to do with Sensei McGrath. So I know that Barry knows I know what I have to know to teach. As to how good he thinks I am, I probably don't even rank in Barry's mind. You know what I mean? Probably don't even rank in Barry's mind. But, and I mean that sincerely, fellas, I couldn't hold a candle to Barry Steinberg. But we were together for about a year, maybe two, where he was watching me and working with me and seeing what I was doing with the students. He arranged a meeting twice in New York for me to go to that didn't happen. The first one really hurt Barry. Barry was very upset that didn't happen. The second one is when what happened was they didn't want to go again. And again, it upset Barry terribly. But then Barry went to John Pinguero, Frank Black, and organized with them. I don't know if he ever got to go and meet the people at American Isshinryu. That they didn't tell me. And I've never seen anything where Barry has gone to see the people at American Isshinryu. That I don't know. Which I would hope that he would, because those are the people that, can help when it comes to promoting Sensei's legacy. Now, if you go on their website, I don't think Ed McGrath is mentioned but once on the website, on American Isshinryu. I don't think so. I think you may see his name appear once. The last time I checked, and I read it, I went over the website pretty good. His name appears once, which I don't like. And then the student of Wayne, Sensei Don Bohan, is a student named Wayne Wheeland. Because of me, that gentleman took down all of Ed McGrath's stuff that was on the website. Now, Ed and Bo were brothers. That hurts me terribly that a guy like Wayne Wheeland, who had has a beautiful website, I mean, really, really beautiful, took down everything on the website that has to do with Ed McGrath. So that really, I don't know what I did to that man. I don't know why he did that. But this video is proof that you hurt me terribly when you did that, Wayne Whelan. I hope I say your name right, Wayne, but I won't say anything else other than that about it. But that you hurt me terribly when you took my sensei's name off of Bohan's website. Because those two were brothers. That should have never happened. Ed McGrath and Don Bohan. Those names go together in Isshinryu Karate. Ed McGrath and Don Bohan's name go together. Just like Rick Namira. Rick Namira, I never saw my sensei cry. When his mother passed away, when his father died, all that stuff, never saw my sensei cry. The only time I saw my sensei cry was when Rick Namira passed away. Never forget it. He loved Rick. He really did. My sensei really loved that man. Just like Barry. Sensei really loved Barry. And Barry loved Sensei as well. It was mutual there. Even if you were to contact Barry Steinberg to this day, Barry Steinberg will vouch for what I'm saying when it comes to Sensei McGrath. They had a mutual respect amongst one another that went past martial arts. Martial arts started it, but it went so deep that, again, a lifelong journey for both of those men. Now, Barry's still alive, Sensei's passed on now. But knowing what Barry meant to Sensei, and now, that Sensei's gone, you know that their relationship had impact on both men. The way Barry turned out and how Sensei turned out, yeah. I was there. I was at those dinner tables, and something would come up, and Sensei would refer to Barry in that instance. You know what I mean? That's how well they knew each other. Sensei would Anyway, it's look. I wanted to add that stuff in there because, again, if this video gets seen by the naysayers, it's not about the rank. It's about the work that we do every day. That's what this is about. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the work that we do every day. I know why Kyle doesn't deal with me no more, especially when I saw the picture of Frank Black with BJ Fry. I saw it. I knew right away. That's why Kyle doesn't, associate with me no more. So that's just still at it, really, True students to Sensei. I wound up being Sensei's student somehow. I wound up meeting this guy just like you all did. I got one question. What makes you different than me? I didn't do nothing. You all say I did, but you got no proof. I got proof. I got proof. I sent a copy to Barry. Barry has the document. He told my student he didn't. Barry has the document. I sent it to him. Nobody else. Barry has my paperwork for 10th. He asked me something that day about Andy Sloan. I said, Andy read it, but Andy wanted to change one word from descent to ascent. That was it. It was the only thing Andy Sloan wanted to change. I got my signatures. I got all the things I wanted. Yeah, it's not from you, but that don't matter to me. What matters to me is that I continue to do Sensei's work. That's what I'm here to do. So happy birthday, Isshinryu Karate. Happy birthday. Happy name day. Not their birthday. It's not the birthday. What it is it's the naming of the style, of the curriculum, of the syllabus. So happy birthday. We're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to be diligent. We're going to continue to be innovative. We're going to do all the things that we need to do to practice. Next Wednesday, tune in, 8 o'clock, Blog Talk Radio, Hanshi'scorner with Vena Sensei. Friday night, 8 to 10. Wednesday night, 8 to 10. And then we do a Saturday show. That time varies because of our featured guests. Sometimes, depending on where they are, East Coast, West Coast, whatever, we have to, sort of move the time. But those links we spread around, so you can get those links easy. Any other way, you just go to Blog Talk Radio, type in even my name, Dan Vena, and it'll come up. So thanks for tuning in. Our listener base has been growing, especially now that we can't, work out the way we normally do. So we give a lot of innovative instruction on the program. So tune in. You guys will love it. You can call in and share your thoughts. So we'll see you Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Hanshi'scorner with Vena Sensei. And thank you very much for tuning in. Whenever you tune in, you can hit the like button down there. Hit subscribe. That helps. And how does Jerry Springer say? Take care of yourself and each other. Goodbye.